JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, studio engineer charged after illegal gun allegedly found on the bed. 26-year-old Jabari Campbell, otherwise called Wani, a studio engineer of retirement, Granville in St. James, was arrested and charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition on Saturday. Reports are that about 6:30 a.m., the police executed a search warrant at Campbell's house, and during the search, one 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 13 9mm rounds was allegedly found under a bed. Campbell was arrested and later charged following a question and answer session in the presence of his attorney. His court date is being finalized. 16-year-old boy among two shot dead in separate St. James incidents. A 16-year-old boy was shot and killed in Irwin Heights, St. James on Saturday evening. The deceased boy has been identified as Chris J. Thompson. According to the police, Thompson was attacked in his community by unknown assailants at approximately 6:45 p.m. Similarly, in the Green Pond community, 29-year-old Adrian South, otherwise called Andrew, was shot and killed by unknown assailants approximately 12:45 p.m. on Saturday. The Mount Salem police are investigating. St. James has recorded some 19 murders since the start of the year. Gun find puzzle. Information has emerged that 20 handguns and 40 magazines that were found at the Sangster International Airport cargo on Friday were intended for a gun shop in another jurisdiction. The guns were reportedly shipped to Jamaica in error and have been in cargo since January 12. The firearms are reportedly legal. According to sources, the 5 boxes of guns were destined for the gun shop, but only 4 arrived, with 1 mistakenly shipped here. However, efforts to get the police high command to confirm this latest development were met with a terse response from Deputy Commissioner of Police Fitz Bailey, who acknowledged the find but said, "That is all I'm willing to say. The guns were found and we are carrying out investigations." The guns were found early Friday afternoon during a routine processing of packages, said Assistant Commissioner of Police Gifford Chambers in charge of Area 1, who noted that the investigations were being carried out by a team comprising Customs, the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch, and detectives from St. James. This was the second seizure by the police on Friday. One gun was found in one of the volatile St. James community early in the day. In 2021, the St. James police seized 126 illegal guns, 10 more than 2020 and 30 more than 2019. Court denies travel application by a British woman on cocaine charges. The St. James Parish Court denied an application to vary the bail conditions for Kadisha Thompson Jackson, a British resident who allegedly tried to smuggle 1 pound of cocaine to the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay last October when she made her latest court appearance on Friday. Thomas Jackson, 25, of a London, England address, who appeared before the St. James Parish Court is charged with possession of, dealing in, and attempting to export cocaine. She is currently out on $450,000 bail with conditions that include orders to report to the police 3 times weekly and a stop order preventing her from traveling overseas. During Friday's court proceedings, Thomas Jackson stood calmly in the prisoner's dock while her lawyer Michael Hemmings made an application on her behalf before presiding parish judge Sasha Ashley for her to be allowed to travel overseas. "I'm wondering if the court will be minded to let Miss Thomas Jackson travel to the United Kingdom and return here when the Crown is in a position to mount a prosecution. Her real ties are in the United Kingdom. She wants the matter dealt with so she can get on with her life," Hemmings asked Ashley. "I have heard your application. However, I'm not able to consider it today, but on March 1, we may revisit the application," Ashley replied before setting the case for mention on that date. The court was also told that several documents are still outstanding from the prosecution's case file, including the forensic certificate and a corroborating officer's statement. Interestingly, those same documents were outstanding from the file when the case was previously mentioned on November 4. St. Ann Top Cop aims for less murders in 2022. The St. Ann Police are striving for another significant reduction in murders this year. Head of the St. Ann Police, Senior Superintendent Dwight Powell, said that law enforcers in the Northeast Jamaica Parish will be going the extra mile to continue the strategy of increased community-based policing, which contributed to a 21% reduction in murders. "One of the things that we'll continue to do this year is to increase our community engagement, which is one of our public interaction measures. We'll be partnering with our stakeholders and residents to build the relationship between the police and citizens to find solutions to the issues of crime," Powell said. In 2021, St. Ann recorded 55 murders compared to 17 the previous year. Last year, our policing efforts bore some fruits, as opposed to murders in 2020. But 55 people being murdered in St. Ann is much too high for us to be gratified about, though we are thankful for the reduction. For this year, we're looking for more success as it relates to reduction. We're going to ask the full cooperation of all our residents in the parish as it relates to making St. Ann one of the safest places in Jamaica, Powell added. The lawman also credited the success to efforts by members of his team, whom he said are the parish's best interests at heart. I want to express appreciation to the staff for the tremendous effort they made as it relates to policing across the division. Last year we did a lot of retooling as it relates to our human resource, and I believe that did extremely well. There was also divine intervention on our part as we held our Monday morning station devotion sessions, he said. Domestic violence, Paul detailed, was the main contributor to the murders, which he said the police actively tried to quell last year. His advice is for citizens to find alternatives other than resorting to violence to solve their conflicts. When we analyzed our murders for last year, approximately 50% result from domestic violence, and so that number for conflict among people who know each other is too much, he said. We'll be focusing heavily on domestic violence reduction for this year, and we are thankful that we have a domestic violence intervention center at the Alexandra police station. And we're going to ask the people who are having disputes, especially at the southern belt of the parish, seek to go to the center as they'll help to resolve the issues, Paul continued. Since the start of 2022, the parish has recorded 5 murders, similar to the same period of last year. 2 of the most recent occurred on Thursday, involving Carlton Miller, a tour bus operator of Bellier, Runaway Bay, who was found stabbed to death on Mount Corbett Main Road in Discovery Bay, and Rowan Wilson, who was also stabbed to death by a man said to be mentally challenged in Steertown. Investigations are still ongoing in the murder of Carlton Miller, and we're asking citizens who might have information to assist us by coming forward as we continue to work towards making St. Ann a safe place, Powell said. The mentally ill man is in police custody. 838 new COVID-19 cases and 22 deaths. Jamaica on Saturday recorded 838 new cases of COVID-19, bringing the total number of confirmed cases recorded on the island to 119,565. According to the latest statistics from the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the country also reported 22 virus-related deaths. The death toll since the start of the pandemic now stands at 2,594. Of the newly reported cases, there were 509 females and 329 males with ages ranging from 1 day to 180 years. The cases were recorded in Clarendon, 52, Hanover, 11, Kingston and St. Andrew, 211, Manchester, 67, Portland, 39, St. Ann, 43, St. Catherine, 188, St. Elizabeth, 66, St. James, 86, St. Mary, 10, St. Thomas, 20, Trelawney, 14, and Westmoreland, 31. Meanwhile, the latest victims are a 91-year-old male, a 94-year-old female, an 89-year-old female, an 81-year-old female, a 68-year-old female, an 85-year-old female, a 75-year-old female, a 77-year-old male, and a 93-year-old male, all from Kingston and St. Andrew, a 74-year-old female, and an 88-year-old female from St. Catherine, a 65-year-old male, and a 90-year-old male from St. Ann, a 73-year-old male from Portland, a 72-year-old male, a 73-year-old male, and a 76-year-old male from St. Mary, a 64-year-old female from St. James, and a 93-year-old female from Clarendon. The deaths occurred between January 11 and 21, 2022. 3 other deaths that were under investigation from September 2021 were also confirmed. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.